Ashlesha, also known as the serpent star. I mean, think about that for a second. What if your whole life was guided by the primal power of a serpent? That question, it really gets to the heart of Ashlesha's complex and honestly captivating energy. So let's unpack what that really means. Okay, first things first, the name. Ashlesha means the embrace. And right there, you've got this incredible duality. Is it a loving, nurturing embrace, or is it a constricting, controlling one? The symbol, that coiled serpent, just nails this idea perfectly. It's all about hidden wisdom, psychological depth, and, you guessed it, transformation. So here's what we've got on tap. We're going to start with the basics of the serpent star, then dig into the power of the Nagas, its ruling deities. After that, we'll see how all this shapes the Ashlesha personality, their careers, and even their relationships. And we'll wrap up by looking at how you can actually harness this intense energy for good. All right, section 1, let's uncoil this mystery. What are the actual building blocks of a Shala? We're about to look at this really unique mix of planetary and divine energies that makes it tick. Okay, look at this combination. It's pretty wild. On one side, you've got Mercury, the planet of pure intellect, communication, all that sharp thinking. But then, the deities are the Nagas, these mystical serpent gods. So what you get is this incredible dynamic. The mind of a brilliant strategist, fused with the raw, intuitive wisdom of a serpent. And check out its Shakti, or its power, to inflict poison. Now that doesn't always mean literal poison. Think of it more like the power to paralyze someone with a sharp mind or just some incredibly cutting words. It's like verbal venom, delivered with that razor-sharp mercurial precision. Now, you can't really get Ashlesha without getting the Nagas. They are the mythological bedrock, the source code that gives this lunar mansion all its depth and power. So who are the Nagas? Well, they're way more than just mythical creatures. Think of them as the ultimate guardians of hidden knowledge. They're the keepers of cosmic secrets, the protectors of the subconscious realm. They really represent that quilled up potential inside all of us, kind of like Kundalini energy that can lead to some absolutely incredible spiritual breakthroughs. And this right here, this is the core tension of Ashlesha in a nutshell. The serpent energy is just so two-sided. On one hand, you have this amazing power for feeling and transformation, the whole shedding your old skin and being reborn thing. But on the other hand, you've got this potential for danger, for deceit, for manipulation. The big takeaway here is that this power, it can be used to enlighten or it can be used to entangle. It's a choice. Okay, so we've talked about the myth and the astrology, but what does this intense two-sided energy actually look like in a real person? Let's dive into the Ashlesha personality. People with strong Ashlesha placements are known for being incredibly perceptive. Seriously, they can walk into a room and just feel the emotional undercurrents, kind of like a serpent sensing vibrations in the ground. You combine that with their sharp, Mercury-driven intellect, and you get someone who is magnetic, persuasive, and unbelievably resourceful. They have this mysterious, almost hypnotic charm that just pulls you in. But their emotions run deep, which can lead to amazing loyalty, or on the flip side, some serious possessiveness.
I love this quote because it just nails their adaptability, and it all goes back to their yoni animal, the cat. Think about it. In a new place, a cat is cautious, watchful, kind of withdrawn, right? That's Ashlesha. But once they feel comfortable, once they feel in control, that same energy flips, and they can be incredibly effective leaders and strategists. And that sharp tongue, yep, that's the poison power we talked about. Used well, it's a tool. Used carelessly, it can do some real damage.
So let's lay it all out. The good and, well, the challenging. The strengths are obvious. They're independent, clever, super versatile. But the challenges are just as powerful. That same secretiveness can easily slide into being deceptive. Passion can sour into possessiveness. And their incredible perception, if they're not careful, it can turn into suspicion and even paranoia. All right, so how does this really complex personality handle the real world? Let's talk about career and relationships, where they really shine and where things can get a little tricky. Yeah, it's really no surprise that Ashlesha natives crush it in these fields. I mean, they have this natural ability to dig deep and uncover secrets, so of course they make brilliant psychologists, detectives, or investigative journalists. Their strategic mind is perfect for something like politics or diplomacy, but what's really unique is how they strategize. It's not just about making a plan, it's about seeing the psychological weak spots, just like a serpent figures out where to strike. And that connection to hidden knowledge, it makes them natural mystics, or in the modern world, even ethical hackers.
When it comes to relationships, wow, the stakes are high. The compatibility scores are all over the place. Their best match is Pushya, which is a really nurturing, patient sign that can totally soothe Ashlesha's intensity. But then you look at the other end of the scale, Uttarashadha, with a compatibility of just 32%. What on earth causes such a huge difference?
Well, the reason is just fascinating and it's totally primal. It all boils down to their yoni, or their symbolic sexual animal. Ashlesha is the cat, Uttar Arshada is the mongoose. And in nature, what are a cat and a mongoose? They're instinctive enemies. So this translates into a relationship dynamic that's just filled with conflict and really a fundamental inability to ever build trust. It's like a primal fight or flight response that's almost impossible to get past.
So, with an energy this powerful and, let's be honest, sometimes this challenging, how do you find balance? That brings us to our final section, harnessing that serpent energy for real growth.
Okay, and it's really important to get this. These remedies aren't just quick fixes. When Ashlesha's energy gets out of whack, its darker side, the fear, the control, the emotional toxicity, that's what can come to the surface. So the whole point of these remedies isn't to squash that energy down. It's to purify it, to transform it from a destructive force into a source of incredible spiritual strength.
The path to finding that balance is really a 3-step approach. First up, secret sound. Chanting mantras for Mercury helps balance the intellect, while something like the Mahamrityunjaya mantra offers protection from fear. Second, spiritual practice. Connecting with Lord Shiva is huge here because he's the master of serpent energy. I mean, he wears a cobra around his neck. He's a powerful guide. And third, mindful living. And this is the tough one. It means being radically honest with yourself about any negative patterns, like jealousy or control, and adopting a pure or sattvic lifestyle to really calm the whole system down. And this quote, this is really the core lesson, isn't it? For someone with Ashlesha energy, the temptation is always going to be there to use their power to control everything and everyone around them. But true power, real mastery, it only comes when you turn that sharp, perceptive gaze inward and work on mastering yourself.
So what Ashlesha really teaches us is that inside our deepest, most tangled up problems, that's where the potential for profound transformation lies. A serpent has to shed its old skin to grow, right? It's a natural process. So the question it leaves for all of us is, what old skin are you ready to leave behind?